Have you ever known anyone who wanted to start a family but could not? I believe surrogacy offers everyone the opportunity to protect our right of freedom of reproduction. Surrogacy can be defined as the use of a surrogate mother to carry and deliver a healthy baby for a childless person or persons. Merriam-Webster defines a surrogate mother as a woman who becomes pregnant, usually by artificial insemination or surgical implantation of a fertilized egg for the purpose of carrying the fetus to term for another woman. Surrogacy's risks are high, and the emotional impacts on our society are obvious from the constant debate on this subject. The concept of surrogacy and in vitro fertilization procedures are, at this time, considered to be a viable alternative for childless individuals. An article released by Newsweek magazine in April of 2008 states that IVF has been around only since the 1970s, but the idea of one woman bearing a baby for another is as old as civilization. This is an image by Adrian van der Werf entitled Sarah Presenting Hagar to Abraham. David Gruchik quotes from the book of Genesis, "Please go into my maid. Perhaps I shall obtain a child by her." Sarah encouraged Abram to take part in what was essentially a surrogate mother arrangement that day, and according to custom, the child would be considered to be the child of Abram and Sarah, not Abram and Hagar. Surrogates can be divided into natural surrogates and gestational surrogates. A traditional surrogacy is when the surrogate mother conceives a child either naturally or through artificial insemination. A gestational surrogacy is when the surrogate mother carries the embryo created from the egg and sperm of the genetic couple. Gestational surrogacy occurs through in vitro fertilization, or IVF. Why would a woman go through the time and physical effort of a pregnancy and delivery just to separate herself from its very product and reward? Some surrogates do it for compensation. Some women volunteer. Volunteers often feel the need to help when someone close to them suffers from infertility. Other women who volunteer have met other surrogates and see the beauty of helping others. A woman by nature can be fickle and indecisive about giving up a child, and it has happened that the surrogate has been unable to sign the papers after the birth of the child. Surrogacy depends on a woman's social responsibility to rise above such an emotional connection. Women are not simply products of their emotional nature. Why would a childless couple take such a chance? Most attitudes among childless persons are such that they would do anything, take any risk to have a child of their own. In vitro fertilization is the implantation of an embryo to a womb, and it can be a long, exhaustive, and expensive procedure. Sometimes a woman may have medical conditions that could be exacerbated by a pregnancy, or a pregnancy may even be a lethal endeavor. And many single-sex couples look forward to having a family. Enter the surrogate mother. New hope can be provided to the couple, especially if the surrogate has had at least one successful pregnancy. Surrogates offer greater chances of success through IVF. Surrogacy empowers childless couples by giving them the opportunity to prove that they can be successful parents. There is an amount of stigma attached to being childless in today's society. A childless couple may not have anyone to continue their lineage, leave their inheritance to, or to care for their future. An heir can give a couple a more solid future and a more satisfying present. The human family forms a fundamental social unit. Until recently, a wife and her child were considered her husband's property. It says in Carmel Shalev's Birth Power that a woman's motherhood outside of marriage was abhorred and condemned. Fortunately, in Western societies, we no longer live in such a male-dominated world. This is due to the slow but constant deconstruction of the traditional family. There are many types of families now. Children raised by grandparents, a single mother, a single father, or by same-sex parents are becoming more common. This forces us to accept a person based on their own actions, rather than condemning them for the actions of their parents. Each new surrogate mother, or even an adoptive parent, can help us make a step toward a more tolerant society by further alleviating the traditional family ideology. The laws of surrogacy differ from state to state. According to allaboutsurrogacy.com, 13 states permit surrogacy. 15 states and the District of Columbia prohibit surrogacy. And 33 states have no provisions or are unclear in their laws. Florida permits surrogacy, but only for married couples. This leaves out single parents and the gay and lesbian community as a whole. Surrogacy is a highly controversial subject. The concept of a womb for rent has been hotly debated. These debates are no less valid or no less important than those surrounding birth control or abortion. All of these arguments come down to a woman's right to choose. It is a woman's right to her own reproduction that gives her her rights to her own sexuality. It is our duty to use these rights responsibly so that we can be seen as equal partners with men to shape the world and make it a better place for all of our sons and daughters. So what can we do? This issue does not affect women alone. Women can support surrogacy by becoming egg donors or even surrogates. But everyone can help to protect our freedom of reproductive choice by checking the laws in your state. Write to your state's legislators to learn how surrogacy is handled in your state. If you believe in protecting your rights and the rights of others, begin a petition to change the laws. Speak out. Be a voice for choice in your state. It only takes one voice to start the whole world to sing.